What's poppin' YouTube? What up, Billion's in the house? Welcome to Incognito. Today I'm gonna tell you about illegal animal breeders and how they export animals and gain great profits. Before we start, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Moving on.
I'm 1/billion, an undercover journalist. Different identities, one thing in common: the art to lie. I've told over 100 stories, and now it's time to tell mine.
I already told you how easy and cheap it is to buy a fake pedigree for a dog. But by doing that, you can easily increase dogs' value. If you haven't seen the previous episode, make sure you do that. On the internet, I found different complaints about different breeders. Many dogs had congenital diseases. Others turn out not to be from the same breed. I don't have any proof, but there's a great possibility that these dogs had fake pedigrees as well. They are easy and cheap to get, but can multiple dogs value easy? As we talked before, there are no doubts that these dog breeders can easily make some serious money, especially if they are breeding animals which are trendy at the particular time. This amount of money can be appealing to many people, so me and my colleagues decided to pay a visit to different dog breeders who are selling dogs online. One thing that shocked us was the living conditions. Many dogs are raised in flats. One breeder had an entire flat just for puppies, while the owners were living in a private house with their dogs. Other breeder had 2 cages with many chihuahuas, about 20 in them. Kind of looked like chickens who are raised for slaughter. In many cases, when the breeder lives in a private house, the dogs are living in cages in unsanitary conditions. Few breeders had decent living conditions for dogs, but most of the time, not. The guy I bought pedigree from told me that he's living in a 2-room flat. He has 3 dogs, 2 Central Asian Shepherds and a Golden Retriever. One room is for him and his wife, another room for dogs. All 3 dogs are quite big and are not meant to be living in one room. I didn't have the opportunity to visit his flat, but I can tell you my suspicions that the conditions could be pretty bad. So what have we understood? In many cases, the dogs are performing factory function, living and giving birth to more dogs until they die. Disgusting. And then there are vets. Vets are playing a big part in breeders' business because you have to make a passport for the dog, insert a chip, and give vaccines. So all breeders have their own vet who is helping them with their dogs, but others don't. Some breeders revealed that they are inserting the chip by themselves. It's easy. And it's also illegal because only a certified vet is authorized to do that. But everybody's trying to save a buck here. And if we're talking about vets, turns out there are some vets who are breeding dogs themselves. We visited one of them. She didn't have any active advertisements about selling dogs, so we had to think of a different way. The lady was a vet for many years, but recently her certification had expired and she didn't renew it. We went to her house and brought a small Jack Russell puppy to have it chipped. The vet did that quite fast and stamped dog's passport. But how did she do that if her certification had expired? Did she put her own stamp? Wrong. She used her daughter's. She faked signature and put her daughter's stamp on the passport. Her daughter had recently graduated from university and became a vet, just as her mom. How sweet. We could hear many dogs barking from the outside of the house, which meant that most likely this family is still breeding dogs and cats. And in the end, to sum it all up, many breeders from Latvia are exporting their dogs and cats as well. Some of the breeders are looking east and exporting dogs to Russia and Ukraine. Some are looking north and selling dogs to Estonians. Breeders themselves admit that in many cases Estonians are just resellers who are buying dogs in Latvia for a cheap price and afterward selling them in Scandinavia and Finland. But breeders with better contacts are exporting dogs directly from Latvia to Norway, Sweden or Finland. Because people there are more wealthy, and it means they can pay more. The customers are interested in these kinds of deals as well, because the price of a breed dog in these countries is multiplied many times if we compare it to prices in Latvia. Conclusions. Lesson number 1. Visit the breeder's house and see the living conditions for yourself before buying anything. Lesson number 2. If you want to save money, watch out for resellers. Lesson number 3. Make sure the documentation is done by a certified vet. What do you think of this episode? Leave comments below. I want to hear your opinion. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to 1 out of billion. If you're generous enough to support this channel, PayPal cryptocurrency donations are accepted. Links are in the description. I also have a Patreon page, and I would like you to become my patron. I'm 1 out of billion. Peace out.
Incognito.